I've been living and breathing AI and vibe coding for the last year. Today, we're going to talk about the 2026 vibe coding trends that I'm seeing. So here's the paradigm shift. When AI tools like Chat GPT first started gaining popularity, there wasn't all this tooling around AI coding. So the old way, you would write a prompt to Chat GPT, you'd have to copy and paste from the chat to your IDE. The human was still writing most of the code. 2026 vibe coding has much more tooling built around the IDE and coding. So for example, you can say, I need this dashboard to feel snappy and handle real-time data spikes. Use whatever stack makes that happen. So this is intent-driven development. AI agents are building with the terminal and browser and deployment, so they have access to everything. And then the human becomes the orchestrator. The numbers are telling this story. 92% of US developers are using AI coding every single day. I'm not sure what those 8% of developers not using AI coding are doing. 41% of global code is now AI generated, and that's only increasing every single day. 62% of organizations are experimenting with autonomous agents. This is going to keep growing up. That's going up. That's the trend as well. And 70% of developers will partner with AI agents by 2030. Agentic coding wasn't even a thing like 2 years ago. So you can see how this is increasing dramatically. Now, what I think the number one trend of 2026 is going to be AI agents orchestrating code for you and building products for you. So the question isn't, can you code? It's, can you lead the machines that do? Your value is in judgment as opposed to actually writing the code itself. So there's 3 pillars of this. One is context architecture. So structuring the environment, docs, schemas, constraints, giving it as much context as possible. And we have videos on Claude Code of how to actually set up agents, set up skills. This is the context that's going to help your agents orchestrate and build better. So recursive arguing using one AI to write code and a second AI to break it or basically review it, agents validating each other. This is also where sub-agents come in Claude Code, for example, where you can create agents that will do like code reviews in a separate context window. And then product intuition. So thinking about, what you want to build, focus on the outcome, not as much on the implementation. This is where I think things are going. So just to dive a little bit deeper into multi-agent systems. So we have the orchestrator agent that coordinates everything. And then we have individual agents within that. You have a researcher who's going to gather information and context, the coder to implement solutions, a testing agent, reviewing agent, deployment agent, monitoring agent for issues, and then the human who approves and resolves any issues that come up within the orchestration. This is the future, and I think where things are going. So top agentic coding tools that are taking advantage of this orchestration. So one is Cursor, one of the most popular AI IDEs. It's an AI native IDE. It has deep repo awareness, so it understands your repository, all of the code. It has composer agent mode. It has planning mode. It has multi-file refactors. What's nice about Cursor is that you can use whichever model that you want. You just pay for the usage as you use it. It has a lot of really helpful UI built around it and tooling built around it. There's a browser built into it that the agent has access to. Now with Cursor, you're relying on a lot of the logic that they've built to basically read your code and review it and build the agentic system around it. So Cursor, really great platform. I think it's going to just continue getting better. Then there's tools like Claude Code and Codex. Now, these are tools that are command line tools in the terminal. They have support for really large code bases, MCP integration. They're really good at really large refactors. Generally, you're going to pay a lot less per token, at least as of now, than in Cursor. And I think that's going to continue because if you're using Claude Code or Codex, you're basically getting subsidized by OpenAI or Anthropic, whereas Cursor is using API access into those tools, so they're going to charge more. Claude Code and Codex also have support for these agentic platforms with, for example, I talked about before with Claude Code, you have skills, sub-agents, things like that. Check out our channel for more videos on how to use those types of agents. Then you have platforms like Lovable, Mocha. There's a lot of platforms out there that are web-based. They're easy to use. The features vary. It's really great for non-technical users. And these are platforms that are building this type of like orchestration without the user having to know anything. So think of it as almost like a default. And I think these tools are going to continue building more and more of this orchestration on top of it because their end goal is for a non-technical user or anyone to say, I want to build an app, and they're going to do all of this orchestration for you. There's other tools like Manus, for example, that just got acquired by Meta, which I think is maybe one of the best orchestration tools and agentic tools already. It's great for both building apps, but also for research tasks, things like that. That's one that I would definitely recommend looking into. And it has a lot of these orchestration tooling built into it. And this is the trend of where I see things going. I predict we're going to see even more apps that become really successful that are kind of like a very agentic, able to do a lot for you. So what does this enable? Disposable and hyper niche software. In 2021, MVP took 3 months, cost $50,000. In 2026, you build and deploy a SaaS over a weekend for the cost of an API subscription, $20 to Anthropic. You can build hyper niche tools, small personalized tools for specific roles in industry that were too niche to justify custom software before. And then also it enables throwaway prototypes. You can build fast, test with users, iterate or discard. The cost of experimentation is approaching zero. So, okay, that's possible now. Let's say you're an entrepreneur. How do you monetize those paths? So first, you could be kind of an agency, do custom builds, $300 to $800 for a landing page or small tool. I think we have a window, or maybe forever. It's hard to exactly predict. Is everyone going to start using these vibe coding tools, or does this just enable anyone to do it? But you're still going to have people who are too busy or just don't want to learn. I typically think it's going to be the latter half, where there's still a ton of opportunity to be using these tools to build because most people still don't want to take the time to learn them. So building, an agency, custom builds, you can build micro SaaS apps, as we mentioned, the hyper niche tools for industries that were, too small to justify custom software before, charge, $5 to $15, maybe $50 a user, $100 a user, depends on what value you're providing. And then internal tools, $300 to $1,000 upfront. And then you can charge ongoing maintenance subscription fees. So those are just a few monetization paths for disposable and hyper niche software that this orchestration layer of agentic coding is enabling. Okay, the autonomy spectrum. So where does this go? So we have human in the loop. This is where the AI assists, the human decides and executes all action. Then we have human on the loop. AI executes, human monitors and intervenes when needed. And then we have human out of the loop. The AI acts autonomously with continuous monitoring. So these are kind of the spectrum of where things are and where things are going. And then you might want to allow different amounts of autonomy to the AI depending on what it's working on and what features it's currently creating. Another trend I see is security in 2026. So one problem, of course, is that sometimes AI agents can fail to enforce critical security controls. This can create vulnerabilities in your software. I think there's going to be a huge trend in 2026 towards security in vibe coding. This is going to be part of that orchestration layer, the tooling around vibe coding, where the AI is going to do a much better job. I think it already is doing, a much better job of reviewing the code, making sure that the code is as secure as possible. And this is something that I also think web-based platforms are going to continue investing a lot in as well. So I think across the spectrum of, Cursor to Lovable to Claude Code, I think this is going to be a huge trend. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are there any trends that I missed that you think we should cover in the future? Where do you think the future of vibe coding is going in 2026? And click the link in the description to get our free daily AI vibe coding newsletter to stay up to date every morning. It's free. Click the link in the description to subscribe. And subscribe to our YouTube channel to get even more free content like this. I hope you found this video valuable. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.